This is Leah Lawson, and I am excited to be on the Spellbinders YouTube channel today, creating a few cards using the brand new Yana's Foiled Basics Project Kit. This kit is lovely, and let's take a look at everything that's included. These are the Glimmer hot foil plates, and what you get are these lovely polka dot strip and the foliage border. You also get these really beautiful leaves called organic foliage. And then finally, these gorgeous sentiments called Yana's sentiments. You also get 4 foil colors. They're really fresh and fun and make me excited for spring and summer. Now, these cardstocks are not included in the kit, but they are from Fun Stamper's Journey, and I am using them in Outrageous Pink, Blue Lagoon, Peaches and Cream, and Whipped Cream. So those are the products that I'm focusing on today. So let's get going on the foiling process. So the first thing I did is I set up my desk and turned my hot foil system on and got it all heated up. And now I am putting on the organic foliage leaves to be foiled. So you want to just arrange them however you prefer on your hot foiling system and then hit the button to get them heated up. Once you get the green light, go ahead. You can trim a piece of foil. I'm using gold for this first set. And you're going to want to put it with the gold color facing down on top the plates. And then once you have that set up, go ahead and put your piece of cardstock or whatever it is you're foiling on top. Now I left this part of the video in because I wanted to show I made some mistakes and the foiling on this first go around was not perfect. So I actually got a new Platinum 6, and so the pressures were a little bit different and I just needed to dial it in. But I wanted to keep this in just to show you that foiling is not a perfect process, but once you figure out your system and what you want to do, it will be great. So if you see here when I pull this away, I just got too much excess gold. There was some haloing. It just didn't look how I wanted it to. So I made some adjustments and did it again. And as you can see, it's so much better. There's still a little bit of gold here and there, but that is easily erased with an adhesive eraser. So I'm going to do this same process again, this time with the opal foil, and it's going to go on the Blue Lagoon cardstock. So let me tell you a couple of the changes that I made that made the foiling process more successful, and hopefully that will help you if you have been having any problems foiling as well. So first things first, before putting on the shim, I make sure to take the hot plate from the base, and then I put the shims on. I think that's where I got the haloing effect that first go round. Now with these more intricate plates, I found that my new Platinum 6 only needed to run through once. I didn't even need to back it up, and I didn't need any type of paper shim. And when I flipped it over and I peeled that opal foil off, I got a perfect impression. So just making a couple of adjustments made it so my foiling was much more successful and I was much more happier with the outcome. So next I am moving on to the foliage border set. Now I use the die to place them together so that I'm making sure that I get good placement on those and that I'll be able to die cut it after the fact. And then I'm going to add the florals and leaf pieces to the machine as well. So as I continue foiling, I'm not doing the technique any different. So I just wanted to explain a little bit of my process. When I create sets of cards like these that are a little bit more technique oriented, I tend to do things in sections. So I will do all of the foiling first that I think I might need. I always end up having extras left over, and that's okay. It's something that you can just put aside. You can make some additional cards, whatever you see fit. But if I have plenty of pieces pre-foiled, when I go to start putting the cards together, I have everything that I need. So as you can see, that foiled beautifully. I really, really love the gold and peaches and cream color combo. So with those two sets, I did each one in opal and blue lagoon, then gold and peaches and cream. So next I moved on to doing the sentiments. These sentiments are gorgeous and modern, and I think that you are just going to love using them. I am foiling them on white cardstock. What I'm showing you here is the blue foiling, which I believe is called Moonstone. And I was thrilled when I pulled away that foil. I still am kind of in awe whenever I pull away the foil and I see what fun it is. And then off camera, I did the same sentiments in magenta as well. So for this next part, this is a technique that I actually learned from Yana on her YouTube channel, and it is her washi tape hinge method. So I did try to do the other method with these polka dots, and I just didn't have a lot of success, and it was getting a little frustrating. So I remembered this technique from some past videos from Yana, where she puts her glimmer plate down onto the surface she's actually going to foil to, and then tapes it down with washi tape and then flips that over like a hinge. Then you cut your piece of foil, add it underneath, flip that plate back over, and then you put the whole thing onto your hot foiling machine and hit the timer button. Once it's done, just go ahead and shim it and run it through your die cutting machine like normal. So for the polka dots, I felt like I needed an extra paper shim just to give a little bit more pressure. And then I did run it through front and back. So it passed through the die cut machine twice. Now, this is covering a lot more area than those more intricate pieces that I used beforehand. So I think it just needed a little bit of different pressure. And as I said earlier, it's just one of those things that I think that you just find what works best as you're going. And you might have to do things over here and there, but isn't that the kind of fun part of paper crafting, is just finding what works and making it successful. So on this same sheet, I'm doing the same exact method, and this time I'm adding some of that moonstone, and it is beautiful. It foils beautifully. Now, if you have some imperfections, which I did have a couple of imperfections here and there, one, I try not to worry about them. These are handmade. This is handmade, and imperfections here and there are okay. And the other thing is I knew that I was going to be trimming some parts away, and I was going to be covering areas up with other parts of the die cut foiling. I didn't worry too much about having some imperfections here and there. Okay, friends, all of the foiling is complete. I did not do it all on camera, but I figure you got a good enough basis. So now I am just die cutting everything. I only am going to show this one little piece of die cutting footage because I'm assuming that you are well versed with die cutting, since this is the Spellbinders YouTube channel. But I just wanted to do this one little piece so that you see, place your cardstock down with your dies on the top. I taped mine down with some purple tape and then just run them through your machine. Okay, so we are to the point now where I'm going to start putting my 3 cards together. So as I mentioned previously about the whole imperfection thing, I did have a couple of imperfections, especially up in that pink, but I knew I was going to be trimming a portion of it away, so I didn't worry about it too much. This card set is pretty geometric, a little modern, and I kind of keep that theme throughout the whole set. So I started by trimming that multicolored foiled background into a triangle to just go across your A2 card base. And then a theme through all of these cards is I used these thin strips of cardstock to just help give the cards a little bit of an anchor point. So I felt like that white backed, the foiling on the white onto the white card base was just a little stark. And so by adding that thin strip, it's 1/8 of an inch, that thin strip just helps kind of ground that foiled piece and just gives it a little extra something. So once you trim away the excess pieces, we're going to just start figuring out where I want to put these foiled pieces from the Foliage border set. I'm going to stick it kind of in the middle, and then I want it to overlap into that stark white area so that that area starts to get a little bit of interest and isn't so white. And once I place that down, I have popped it up with some foam tape. Then I'm going to accent and decorate with some of the other little flowers and the little uh, foliage leaves that also come in this set. And then finally, I am going to pop that beautiful sentiment up with some foam tape. You have to trim these down to be pretty thin because these sentiments are pretty teeny, but not a problem. And I just love how it looks popped up, a little bit of added dimension. So pretty. Okay, so we are going to move on to the next card. I am keeping that theme of adding the eighth inch strips of cardstock. This time there's actually going to be 4. So I'm putting that gold foiled white piece onto an A2 card made from Blue Lagoon cardstock. And then I'm going to start gluing those thin paper strips at the top of the white paper. I'm just using a standard glue pen, makes it really easy to line those strips up and make sure they stay nice and straight. And I'm going to arrange them in outrageous pink, then white, then peaches and cream, and then add that final strip of Blue Lagoon. And I just love, it gives it kind of a retro but modern look. I love how those stripes look. So now I am using some more of those florals. These are from the Foliage border set. I'm using the ones that I gold foiled onto peaches and cream. And I am just arranging them to the left side of those colored strips that I added to the card. And then I'm going to go ahead and once again pop the sentiment up with some foam tape. Once again, I had to trim it down really skinny, but it looks wonderful all popped up like that. So that is card number 2. And then finally, card number 3. I've got the angle thing going on, so I'm going to stick with it. So I just trim an angle to a block of white cardstock, and then I'm going to adhere it to the top of a peaches and cream card that I foiled in gold with the polka dot strip glimmer plates. Now, once again, I felt like that area between the white and the gold foiling needed to have a pop of color, so I'm adding a strip of the Blue Lagoon cardstock. This time I am leaving just a little bit of white at that border, and it just feels like a really nice pop of color. So we'll go ahead and trim off the excess, and then we're going to start placing the foliage border, the florals, and the sentiment. So this one has a similar feel to that first one, but this one is horizontal, and that's how it looks. Okay, so we are to the final part of these cards. As I mentioned, I do everything in sections. So now we're going to add jewels. Now I could have had like 5 minutes of jewel adding, but I cut it down, just giving you a snippet here and there of how I placed them. I'm using a jewel picker and just some liquid glue to adhere them in all of the different places that I wanted to accent. I accent in typically trios or little clusters just to give it some shimmer, some shine, and to put some focus in the areas of the card where I want the eye to go. So those are my cards for you today using Yana's Foiled Basics Project Kit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. And thank you so much for having me, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.